caliber, he doesn't take this very well, does he?
No, not at all. And right now it's a matter of who wants to even be around him at this point and who can be around him, maybe to help him settle down or just to listen to him a little bit and let him vent so he can get it out of his system. It's just such a stark difference from what we saw last week.
Yeah.
You've mentioned many times before how impressed you are with his footwork, his decision-making, his reads. For me, his overall athleticism last week, escaping the pocket and creating big plays. We're not seeing that so far.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. Second down and 10. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. So the offense needing 4 yards. It's 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage. Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
And they're going to try this again. It's another fake. And he will not even make it back to the line of scrimmage. A little trickeration there, but it doesn't fool this defense. It's such a risky play there to fake it. You're either the hero or the GOAT. Here they're going to be the GOAT.
Unfortunate, too, because you know they thought they had something there. They don't call it just to call it. They don't just say, oh, what the heck, let's go ahead and fake it here. They feel like they've got something on. They've got the defense in the right spot. Just unsuccessful in that opportunity.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They're on the outskirts of field goal range here in a tie game with a little time. So how do you handle this? What do you do here, Charles?
Everybody wants to pick up as much yardage as possible. But the weird part is for field goal kickers, being in really close sometimes puts more pressure on them because it's much more of a position kick as opposed to just going ahead and letting it out and letting it thump. A lot of guys like a little bit of distance because you know they can handle it, and it's a more natural swing of the leg.
So maybe getting inside the 20, not that big of a deal.
Not that huge of a deal. Sometimes that messes you up with the angles depending on which hash mark you're kicking from.
And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. So here we go now. An extra defensive back in there on 3rd and 10. Back to throw. Wentz. He's got time in the pocket. And he comes back with one complete. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Let's go. Green, 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to lose yardage here. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Offense needs 11. Have to think pass here on 3rd down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And able to break one. And now the Cowboys are going to call another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to almost certainly win the football game. And his kick here is good. But there is a penalty marker down. They might be forced to try this one again.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense. A penalty Penalty is declined.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one taken from the 7. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line.
Let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. That's caught at the 25. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. So the field goal and play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. With 2 seconds left in regulation, this to force overtime. And this one is right through. And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. 4 quarters not enough. We're all even, and to overtime we go.
How much fun is this for everyone who's watching the game? How much fun is it for us to see this one get an extra period to get settled?
And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
Nothing between these two teams for 4 quarters. Here we go to begin overtime. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. They'll run it now out of the gun. Trying to turn the corner, but he's going to be stopped right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
Well, he didn't make headway on that one, but he's had plenty of carries all night long. I just wonder if maybe he's a little bit tired from toting the rock that much.
Wentz going to throw. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. Here's Ryan Quigley now. On for a very important punt here in overtime. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And he fields it cleanly. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to them, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
That part 1 is done, now part 2. Now a handoff here to his running back. Not much there, maybe a couple up to the 35.
When the 4-3 defense is functioning really well, you know who stays what we call clean and no one gets to him? The guy playing the middle linebacker position, the guy we call Mike. That means the defensive front is eating up all the blocks and just let him go to the football and make a play.
And he's got a 1st down as he's up to the 48. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Quarterback and receiver on the same page, and they beat the man coverage.
Sometimes you get too aggressive as a defense. You go into man coverage. That means you've got to win at the line of scrimmage yourself. On that play, the offense did. Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Back to throw here. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
Not an ideal spot to be on first down, but I love that the play caller did not immediately abandon the running game and say, okay, we've got to throw it in order to pick it up. Stayed with the run, was rewarded with a big-time pickup. Now they're in second and manageable.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did. I think that run gives us evidence that the defense is getting a little bit tired out there. They've been out in the field for a long time, and that last run, they just cut right through them.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And the Eagles will go with an extra DB here as they prepare for a stop on third.
Thinking pass all the way.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did. One thing I know, defensive coaches love it when they don't have to invite their players to the party. This strong safety, you never have to ask him twice to help in run support. He's going to arrive and in a bad mood.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming from the right. And the Eagles are going to go ahead and take another timeout. They'll be down to just one remaining as we step aside here in overtime. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. They come out here in the eye. They'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be third down. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have.
Now hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. It'll be their third and final stoppage here in overtime, and we'll be back. A long drive here. Play 12 coming up for the offense.
Third and 11, 5 in the secondary now.
Nickel look. Elliott, and he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. It's a 7-yard run, but it does bring up fourth down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Well, we thought this game would be a good one. It did not disappoint into overtime, and it took the field goal to win it.
And we always pay lip service to how important it is to play defense. And usually we focus on the big offensive pyrotechnics, right? But in this case, they got the ball back on defense, gave themselves a chance, and they capitalized on it with a victory.
And I don't care what distance that field goes from in overtime. The knees are always knocking, but he pushed it through.
Not only that, think about your snapper, your holder. A lot of nerves for them, too, because they have to do their job in order to give him one last chance to put a foot to it.
So for the Cowboys, the win will help them keep pace in the play.